What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Reaction Monday. Buckeyes cruise 38-14 over Penn State. Just a 3-point game at half. We've said multiple times it felt to me like they were up 30. Ryan Day didn't feel that way. Here was his answer to the question.
I think it's a great example for everybody that when you turn the ball over, especially down there, you put yourself at risk. I mean, all the work that gets put in, can be all for naught if we don't take care of the football. So it's a lesson learned. We came in at halftime. We were up by 3. You would have thought we were down by 21. But I thought we responded well, and that's the thing is when you come out in the second half, you have to learn from the first half, but you can't dwell on it. And so we knew how important that first drive was. We were aggressive. And I thought some of Julian's deep balls were just excellent in this game, and saw how they were playing us in the first half. Felt like we had a chance to get behind them, and so we called those plays, and Julian and the receivers did a great job. Jeremiah, Carnell, and then it was good to see obviously us finish the game with some runs. Got physical, so that was good as well. But the defense was excellent. Really stepped up. I know there was a couple third downs early on that were frustrating, but I thought Matt, changed it up a little bit, and then the guys played, really physical. Got to the quarterback, changed up the looks in the back end. So, very good team win.
On the defense side of it, guys, did you guys happen to see? Here's some numbers. If you're looking for numbers for how great the defense was, despite giving up the touchdown on the short field. The Penn State quarterback, Ethan Grunkmeyer, local kid, I thought he appointed himself pretty well, considering all of it. 5 yards an attempt out of the pass game. How about Penn State on the ground? Can I interest you in 1.8 yards per carry, including all this minus 39 for Grunkmeyer, but just 76 from Allen on 3.6, Singleton 3.0. They just threw it for 145 yards. They had 200 yards of total offense, Penn State did, in this game. So it was just so comprehensive. And I think I want to hear what he has to say here. He's asked about the message that he had for half. Let's hear from Coach Day on that.
And so the message at halftime, was that, if we take care of the football, we're going to win the game. If we turn the ball over some more, we're going to be in this game in the fourth quarter. So that was the first thing. The second thing was that, we needed to have a great drive to come out in the third quarter, and that great teams win in the second half. And that was really it. And I do want to say before we're done, again, how great the crowd was. I thought the crowd was in the stadium early. They were rocking early. They just, this season, I think Ross has done a great job with the game day atmosphere. And I feel like everybody understands when they have the ball how to be loud, and just they're playing off the players. And when the players need the crowd's there. It gives our guys energy. And I could feel it in the second half. And so I just want to thank the crowd, because at the Skull Session, we say, the band's got to do their job, the fans got to do their job, and we got to do our job. And I thought everybody did today for a great win. So thank you.
Bake, you were one of the three of us who was there. What did you make of the atmosphere?
So I've been to 3 this year, right? Yep. And obviously 2 of them were 2 of the bigger ones with Texas and Penn State. The other was Grambling. I thought the crowd has been great all 3 games, and it's kind of tough to tell. Sometimes when you're up in the press box, we're usually down on the field right up till about kickoff, and then we're up there. But even the Grambling game, when the crowd acted accordingly, when there were times when it was a big play on third down, they were loud. They were loud when they needed to be. The crowd senses the moments. I think the crowd has been great this year. I hadn't been to an Ohio State game since the Michigan State game, I believe was 2020 or 2021 when CJ went off in the first half. Mm-hmm. But I know some people have been critical of the crowd the past couple of years. I think they've been excellent all year long that I've been there.
Let me ask you. Go ahead, Rieser.
I was going to say you had 105 plus stay through the entire game, despite what we've said about how it never felt dangerous.
This is what I think this next 3 weeks is going to be very difficult for everybody, as I was alluding to with Austin. I want you guys to weigh in on that. Let me just set it up this way. The challenge for Ryan Day over the next 3 weeks, heading to Ann Arbor and then the Big Ten championship game against Indiana, to me is going to be this. How do you keep the blade sharp without over sharpening it. Because right now he knows what he's doing. He's an expert in it. He's the best coach in college football, national champion, all of it. The winning percentage speaks for itself. Program's a machine. It's NFLU. How do you sharpen without sharpening so much that it becomes weak? How do you do that? They are 28.5-point favorites over Purdue. Guys, the only reason it's 28.5 is because of their style. If he wanted to Signetti it, he could score 56 in his sleep against Purdue. He could do the same thing against UCLA. He could do the same thing against Rutgers. They won't, because it's not what they're about. They're about getting to 28, cruise control, getting up 28, cruise control, see you next week. So what we're going to be doing, making molehills out of mountains, worrying about a fumble on an odd play call on the first play of a 2-minute drive by C.J. Donaldson, or trying to figure out, God, in the red zone, why can't we punch it in? Why are we getting field goals to the touchdowns? All of those things that we're looking for. He's doing the same thing, man. He's doing the same thing. And he's got he's got serious teams out there looming, but he's got to get there first. And I think that is going to be a challenge for him and this coaching staff over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think you just have to be extra harsh on yourself and on your players in smaller situations during the game. I don't think like practice, you can come down really on anybody, but I think like in-game situations, like I don't think Ryan Day was thrilled with C.J. Donaldson for fumbling the ball, but credit to C.J. and credit to the coaching staff. They rewarded him with an opportunity to score a touchdown in the third quarter. So I do think in the 3 games that you've got, because you're not going to need anything from Michigan from a motivation standpoint.
No.
I think it is you are harsh in those game situations, but you offer players the opportunity for redemption if they mess up, like what CJ did in that game. And I also think you just have done such a good job with the recruiting of the type of person you have. I don't necessarily think there's going to be a ton of worry about this group over the next couple of weeks. Like I think in teams in the past, maybe 2015, you might have had to worry about that because these are all new guys that you did such a good job of in the offseason saying you haven't done anything. Keeping that the forefront of the mind. You haven't done anything.
Yeah.
The team last year won the national championship. You are still trying to attack that. I think we'll keep everything on the tracks through to Michigan week.
I don't think they do anything different, quite frankly, Beau. I think the only thing different you'll see is kind of the Minnesota and Wisconsin game plan, where you're going to see more of the young guys sprinkled in throughout the game and maybe get some backup packages later in the game. Like they really didn't substitute a lot in this Penn State game. Not like they did.
Penn State, for God's sakes.
Not like they did in the Wisconsin game. So I think you're going to get that. I was talking to someone this weekend who deals with these players as students more than them as players, and they were just raving about the quality of kid that is on this football team under Ryan Day compared to maybe quality of kid in the past. So I don't think they have to worry about it. I think these kids take care of their business, whether it's on the field or in the classroom. I think they're serious about what they're doing. Reese, you talked about the recruiting process and the kind of kid they're bringing in. And they're not just, if you're all about money, go to Texas Tech or go to Texas A&M or go somewhere else, because we're about bigger things than that here. And I think that has just worked to make these guys this team that they are. So I don't think Ryan has to worry about anything, Beau, quite frankly, with that.
I also think it was kind of brilliant and obvious to everybody to throw out 2 Heisman campaigns after that Penn State game, because you look to the offense and you say, all right, it's on all of you to make sure that this campaign chugs along through the end of the month.
You and I are Heisman voters. You know how this goes. I think we'll get into that. We'll have the conversation with Julian coming up at 10 o'clock. We'll have that conversation with him. So it'll be about stat accumulation, and then it'll be moments in the Michigan game and the Indiana game. And I think that what I just said is why he doesn't have to worry about anything. It's a combination of what you said, Bake, in terms of the type of people they're recruiting that learned from people like Travion Henderson and J2 Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer and Will Howard. It's about kids who learned how to be pros from them. I had a buddy of mine text me watching Ohio State on Saturday. He goes, good Lord, this is a professional team. And I said, yeah, it is. It is. It's pro football. That's what's happening here. But the other thing is, these guys have not beaten Michigan. and they have not won the Big Ten. So you have their attention.
And honestly, you could have thrown out 4 Heisman campaigns after that game because you can't tell me Arvell Reese isn't one of the best players in the country after watching him against Penn State on that game.
No. I mean, I think you could have as many as 5 first-team All-Americans, all deserving. You're going to have the quarterback,
the whole passing game.
Both receivers, the quarterback. You should have 8 and 2, all first-team consensus All-Americans, let alone the rest. I mean, where does it stop? That's how good this operation is. But they have that nugget of, we've not beaten the team up north, and we've not won the Big Ten championship. And he can lean on that over the next 3 weeks. One of the most famous viral recruiting photos of all time was reenacted Saturday. The whole story behind it is wild. You're going to hear that story coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.